Outpost. Let's zoom in to Arizona State at Mississippi State. So yeah, dive into these 6 games. Number 9, heading down to Starkville. It's -6.5 for the Sun Devils. It's predicted to be around 59 points total. I think that's pretty interesting. It's a little bit more than last year's encounter. It was 30-23 going in favor of the Sun Devils in Tempe. Cam Scatterboo was an absolute monster. But for Jeff Lebby, going into his 2nd season, this has to be a must-win game to, salvage whatever he can to keep his job there again for Mississippi State in the coming seasons. Again, they beat Southern Miss 34-17. It was a game, I don't think it was completely clean. Again, Shapen having to work with some new weapons. Kevin Coleman is gone to Missouri. That's going to be a big loss, as he was one of the biggest producers last year for the Bulldogs on the road against the Sun Devils. Arizona State, Kenny Dillingham also didn't have a good outing, so that's why this matchup is even more interesting. Looking at it even from this past offseason, where we did do already a preview technically. But yeah, that's what kind of makes this game interesting. Terrible starts kind of to both of the teams that we're talking about here. But the big question is going to be who will be the Cam Scatterboo in this year's contest. Again, he had 33 attempts, 262 yards, 35 through the air and receptions. That's going to be the big question. Who can be that big X factor here? It was the Browns for the Sun Devils on offense, plus Sam Levitt, who used his feet quite a bit. You don't want to be using your feet throughout the season. That might not be a good thing in the long run for the Sun Devils. A little concern over the new left guard, Jameto Bigbo. He seemed like he struggled in his debut for the Sun Devils against NAU. But overall, this offensive line is a top 25 offensive line, we think, here at your Sports Outpost there at number 16. I think the big issue last week, and really was kind of an issue that the Sun Devils have had since Kenny Dillingham has been there, is the penalties. They had 12 penalties for 93 yards against NAU. Penalties is why they lost to Texas Tech in Lubbock last season. And there might be a thing where maybe we see Mississippi State try to draw those penalties. And you guys on top of the penalties, again, I'm concerned about this Sun Devil offensive line. Was not very impressed. Even with some of the touchdown plays, you saw battles lost, and the skill players kind of making up for it with broken tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Sam Levitt was sacked a few times there against Northern Arizona. Even though last year and so far this season, Mississippi State isn't well known in sacking the quarterback. They only got 3 tackles for loss against Southern Miss, and one of those was for a sack. So maybe that might not be as big of an issue. But if I was Mississippi State, I'm trying to send the pressure, getting it onto Sam Levitt to try to make a mistake or create 3rd and long scenarios, or stopping them on 3rd and long. That might be where the difference is made if they can stop them on 1st and 2nd down on drives. Jordan Tyson might be impactful in this game. He wasn't much of a big player last year when these two met up. Only 2 receptions for 7 yards. But again, they just have to be big and ready to go early on in drives to not create 3rd and longs. And I think Jordan Tyson is going to be that guy to help him out. I think it's a little bit different of an approach and getting the ball to him. A lot of passes behind the line of scrimmage. That's where maybe Mississippi State picks up a pick or a mistake from Arizona State, or creates again 3rd and long scenarios, which Arizona State wasn't good with last year. They were 1 for 10, if I'm not mistaken. That is just not good stuff you like to see. And also, I think they went 5 for 15 on 3rd down. They were 1 for 10 against NAU this past weekend, which is, you don't love to see it. If Mississippi State can create those 3rd and long scenarios, that just increases the possibility of getting the ball back and getting some points on the board. I think last year what was the, I guess, issue for Mississippi State was allowing the amount of rushing yards. They, almost 300 yards on the ground. This time around, it might not be the same case. So can they stall? Can they get into, again, those third and long scenarios? For me, I think they can. It's just, again, how smart are they going to play? Because there's a different, again, approach that the Sun Devils are going to have. They're not going to be able to run through the tackles as easily as they did with Cam Scatterboo in the lineup. So that's a big thing. And again, third down scenarios for Mississippi State as well going into this one. Arizona State had stopped them to only allowing 24 yards on the ground. That's out of 27 attempts. I think around 7 of those was from scrambles from Blake Shapen. And then Mississippi State went 3 for 11 on third down as well. So there could be something there to, I guess, to notice. Arizona State did give up 89 yards to NAU. So if they're giving up 89 yards to an FCS team who did, show up last year against Arizona, they seem like they like to show up against those bigger Arizona schools when they have a chance. But we should expect Mississippi State, especially with their backfield, they have a new running back plus some guys coming back. If they can get to 100 yards to help Blake Shapen move the ball down the field, then it could be a game where Arizona State fans should be very, very worried about. But we're going to go, again, with Arizona State. It's 6.5 in favor for the Sun Devils. We think it's going to be a 6-point difference. 59 points is going to be quite a bit. I think it's going to be less than that. Both of these offenses are going to struggle against either defense. Arizona State also has something going for them, not just in the front end, but in their secondary, who's pretty solid, probably one of the best, if not the best, in the Big 12 in terms of having no fly zones. But the difference maker, Tyson Brown, I think is going to take off the load for Sam Leavitt, who's going to be throwing some, risky balls. He threw some interceptions there, unfortunately, in that opener against NAU. But again, the running back Brown is who we expect to make up the difference and allow Arizona State to get this big road win against another SEC team in another meetup against Mississippi State. So, yep, we're going to go Arizona State to win this one. We just like Sam Leavitt and everything around him. And then that secondary as well. Blake Shapen, though, could he be also getting things going? We'll have to see this upcoming weekend, and hopefully we get this one right, as that's going to be a big game going into week 2 as we zoom out.